I'm Ashton Addison from Blockwest Capital for Investment Pitch Media and the Crypto Coin Show. And today on Blockchain Interviews, we have Leo Matchett, CEO of Decentralized Pictures Foundation, DCP. Leo, welcome to the show, and thank you for taking the time to come on today.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. I'm excited to dive into the film industry, democratizing access to capital, to resources, using blockchain technology to improve all of the frictions in the industry. I would love for you to kick it off for us with a high-level overview of DCP and what are some of the solutions you're focused on bringing.
Yeah, so Decentralized Pictures Foundation is an organization focused on talent discovery and content curation. We're using blockchain technology to help us achieve our goals, and we, are essentially democratizing the decision-making process of which artists, get a shot to get their foot in the door in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. We intend on building out a virtual studio of applications. So, all the various departments you would find at a big studio. We're starting with the financing department. And the way that first application will work is users can submit their ideas to funding rounds that we will post to the web application, and they will pay a fee to submit their idea. That fee actually doesn't go to the foundation. It gets locked into a smart contract, and it incentivizes the rest of the community to review, and anyone who gives their opinion on the project will earn a portion of that submission fee, bounty, if you will. And through that process, we'll aggregate data, and certain projects will rise to the top. And we will shepherd the winning project through the life cycle of the film. We've been reaching out for years now to generate a production network to support artists that win, and help them package, co-finance, and distribute and sell their films. So yeah, we're a talent discovery and content curation platform.
Very cool, Leo. And so many people go to the movies, they see the big picture on the screen, they see the top actors in the movie, but I'm sure many of them have no idea, what path did those actors take to try and get to the point where they're at? And also, more importantly, how did that film get chosen, get financed to get to the big screen? And I think there's a lot of steps that no one really hears about. And I'm guessing you're familiar with the traditional film industry and how easy or hard it is to get your film financed. Maybe you can talk a little bit about some of those problems that you pinpointed when deriving this solution.
Yeah, it's a very centralized industry. There's a relatively small group of decision makers that are good at what they do, and they pick obviously great content. We all watch it in the theater and stream it online. We're not necessarily trying to take a lane on their highway. We're building a different highway to get to the same place. So the difficulty and the problem we're solving, one of the problems we're solving, is what we call the drinking from a fire hose problem. So most of the big companies out there, agencies, they won't take what's called unsolicited material. You can't just send them a script and say, hey, give this a read. If you like it, call me and buy it. Let's make this film. They just won't accept them. Mm-hmm. Part of the reason for that is, relatively small development departments, acquisition departments. You would get so much inflow, it would be impossible to review it all. So the problem we're solving, and the way we're solving it, is by outsourcing that review to the world, and we're incentivizing the world to help us with that review, and through that process we will get data about which demographics any piece of content that is submitted is striking a chord with, and then when we go to our production network with these winning projects, we can go to them not just with a script. It'll be a very detailed report of who's responding well to this piece of content. Mm-hmm. So we're creating a new avenue for aspiring artists to get their content into the hands of people that can help them execute their visions and bring their projects to life.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like a Kickstarter for films. You know, as a film watcher, I want to watch, you know, I know what kind of material I like rather than having the top producers, you know, analyze what they think I might like. I can actually invest into a film that I want to see be created from the beginning before it's even made. So I think that's super cool.
Well, just to clarify, you know, Kickstarter, Indiegogo, some of these, you know, crowdsource or crowd financing platforms are one thing. That is not what we are. We are actually the ones financing the winning projects. We are actually, rather than asking our community to give money to finance these projects, we're flipping it and saying, hey, you will be paid to give your opinion and tell us which project we should finance. So it is not a crowdfunding platform. It is a crowdsourcing of intelligence data platform.
Definitely. Well, it's still great to be able to give your opinion, you know, pre-production on what you think you would like to see. So that is still great to include people in that. And I know that your team's been working on this for a little bit, and there's still a lot to go. Maybe you can talk about, you know, the inception of Decentralized Pictures, how long your team's been working on the project now.
Yeah, I mean, we've been thinking about it for a very long time, and you know, late 2015 when Ethereum launched and smart contracts were, you know, becoming a reality. You know, we were conceiving ways to bring it to our space, and I think end of 2016, 2017, we, you know, started putting together a team to build it, raise money to start, you know, conceptualizing how it could work. And, you know, we initially thought, hey, you know, distribution is a huge issue that, you know, there's so much disruption that could happen there with all of the various territories and sales agents and all the intermediate parties between the you know, purchaser of a movie ticket or you know, the person who's paying to stream something and the actual artist who created the IP. Everyone is kind of taking their pound of flesh as it goes down through that waterfall. But you know, there's very significant incumbent inertia at that end of the film life cycle. So, you know, we thought everyone wants to get their film financed. There's so many great ideas out there. There's so many great artists. Let's start at the other end. Let's start with financing, and you know, let's discover some great talent and see how we can use blockchain efficiently to do that. And I think we are. You know, we're creating transparency in the voting process, which is important because we're giving away significant amounts of money. We're creating value for the participants in our ecosystem with our economy of idea submitters and idea evaluators. And, you know, we're creating efficiency with dynamically paying out people for doing work and, you know, participating in this intended incentivized behavior that we've, you know, built into this application.
Yeah, it's I'm interested to learn more in, you know, as an evaluator of a film. You know, my incentives are my incentives financially motivated, or am I looking at, you know, what should I give a critical opinion on the film? Will you still be you know, incentivized to do so if you're not going to make as much money? Should you, you know, is there any trick to how that you've built out the ecosystem to sort of keep everything in line with, you know, good moral principles?
Yeah, so we have a moderation process where the community will actually self-spam filter. So anyone in the community can apply to be a moderator. They will post a bond to a smart contract during their time as the moderator to disincentivize colluding with participants, at the risk of losing their bond. The bond is significant. We're a relatively small team. We know we can't police ecosystem on our own, and we want to decentralize that process. So we feel like the community self-censoring really is the best way to do that. We don't want to try and define what's art and what's not. That's a very difficult question and very subjective. And, so our goals starting out, and, this is a moving target, and we plan to evaluate as we go to make it better. But essentially, content should fit within the MPA rating system. So between G and NC-17, we're not a pornography site. We don't want to promote hate speech or terrorist recruiting videos or anything like that. We want to not try and define what's art and what's not, but we also can't filter everything on our own. So outsourcing that to the community, just like outsourcing the decision-making process about what projects are deserving of financing, what artists are deserving of our support. So yeah, that's how we're going about that.
Yeah, definitely. Totally makes sense, Leo. And great that you mentioned that as well. And it's interesting to hear about the bond mechanism. And you talked a little bit in the last question just about the ecosystem incentivizing, the evaluators. And I'm guessing that also has to do a little bit with the DCP, Decentralized Pictures token ecosystem. Maybe you can talk about just the token itself, the main functionalities, and how it's used throughout the ecosystem. And you mentioned creating a sustainable ecosystem.
Yeah, so we've built a decentralized, we've stood on the shoulders of giants and forked software to create our own blockchain. I shouldn't say we've built one, but we are creating our own chain. And so the token will be used to pay gas fees for anyone who wants to build on top of that chain. It'll pay gas fees and be used as an incentive mechanism within all of the applications in our virtual studio ecosystem. But specifically to the financing application, it's used as an incentive mechanism for the behavior, and so people can use it to submit their project ideas. People can earn it by giving their opinion on either project ideas or creative queries. Anyone can post a subjective question to the community and target it to specific demographics, and people will earn for giving their opinion on those types of questions. So yeah, the token has many uses. We're even talking with companies about using it to license software, to get subscriptions to streaming services. And we're going to promote other organizations or individuals who want to build arts and culture focused applications in our ecosystem as well. So it will be used as really the fuel to our ecosystem and the blockchain itself.
Very interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that you're creating an entire protocol. So that's really interesting to hear. I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. And speaking of that, I'd love to hear just a little bit about the future plans, where you're at right now, and what are the main milestones you and your team are looking to get out into the public, by the end of this year and beyond.
Yeah, so we're focused on launching what we're calling the beta net, and that's that underlying infrastructure, that blockchain. We're also very focused on a fair launch. So for the beta net phase, we will allow anyone who wants to run a node and help us decentralize and secure the network, validate, to have an equal stake and start at the beginning where everyone has an equal stake in the network, as it's a proof of stake consensus. So we're hopefully in the next, I don't want to put a specific date on it, but very soon we will be releasing that software and allowing people to start validating and mining on the network. So that's our immediate goal right now. At the end of that beta net phase, we will transition to mainnet and launch our first application, which is the financing application that I described earlier. And we're also working on some other applications as well, and hopefully we'll get those out in early 2022. So yeah, we're very excited about getting the mainnet out, and making sure that we follow fair launch principles. We will be selling our tokens at the same price that any of the early purchasers got, in the same amount. So we had to sell some tokens to get where we are now, and we're lucky enough to have great supporters and people who understand that to sell them at the same price to the general public will help, we hope, galvanize the community and build confidence that we are trying to launch this in as fair a way as possible. So yeah, those are our immediate goals.
Great. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing all that come to fruition. For the viewers that are looking to follow along with Decentralized Pictures as you continue to grow, what's the best place for them to learn more and get involved in the community?
Head over to our website. You can read about the mission and our applications there. It's decentralized.pictures. And we will also be releasing a website for the network software that you can download and help us participate in validating and running the network. Our goal is to decentralize it and rely on our community to help us upgrade it and be part of the decision-making process on which direction it should go. So yeah, our website, our Twitter, we have a Medium page as well. I'm not sure if you can put links to this somewhere, but we'd be happy to share those with you.
Definitely, yeah. I'll leave all the links in the description box below as well for the viewers, so no worries on that part. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to come on, Leo. All the best with Decentralized Pictures moving forward and the launch, and let's follow up in the near future.
Thank you so much for having me, Ashton. I really appreciate it, and yeah, we'll keep you posted.